All right, so we're going to talk a little bit beyond what we were reading in the textbook and thinking not just how to write like a scientist, but we're going to how to write like a chemist. So we want to think about genre. So in the textbook, we saw the difference between scientific writing and science writing. And we really want to think about what type of genre we're writing for. A type of writing is distinguished from other types of writing because of the differences in the content, form, style, audience, purpose, context. So what are some of those genres? Some genres we have in chemistry would be journal articles, like we're going to be talking about. A scientific poster, there's specific ways we do that. A conference abstract, a research proposal. Other genres in chemistry could be how we do a reference letter, how we write for the popular press, that's science writing. So there's different genres, and each genre has different expectations. So some of the things we look for when we're analyzing a genre is who is the audience and what's the purpose in this writing, how it's organized, what are sort of the writing conventions, the do's and don'ts of writing within that genre, the type of grammar and mechanics we would use, and what type of science content. So let's think about audience and purpose. Who is going to read it, and why are you writing it? So let's think about food first. You might have a grocery shopping list. So who's going to read it? You. Why are you writing it? So you don't forget what you need at the store. A recipe. Who's writing it? Well, probably a cookbook author. Why are they writing it? To share specifics of measurements and processes. So you're going to have really different types of writing if you're doing the grocery list for making enchiladas versus the recipe for making enchiladas. A menu. Who's going to read it? Well, someone at a restaurant. And who is writing it? The chef. They're going to try to make those enchiladas sound great. So all of this is about enchiladas. I think I'm hungry, but who's going to read it and why it's being written are definitely different. All right. Here's an example. This is a joke, right? So who's going to read this? This has got to be upper level chemistry student. Otherwise, they're not going to get this. Okay, let's move on. So we can think about audience as ranging from expert to sort of general. So on the expert side, we're going to have a journal article. These are going to be readers who are really knowledgeable about a topic. And then, scientific poster, you're going to have lots of people coming by your poster at a conference. It might be some people who are directly in your field, but some people who are in an area of chemistry or science that's a little bit further afield from you. So you're going to write more generally in a scientific poster than a journal article who's only going to be read by people really close to what you're doing. A textbook is going to be introducing things to people. It's going to be a little bit broader, more general. And then we've got a popular science press article that's going for people who maybe have very little chemical background. Who we're aiming to read this is going to have a big difference on how we write about it. The organization is, so there's set ways that we sort of think about how writing is done in scientific writing. So to give an example of this, let's think that your aunt sent you a new blue sweater. Okay. There it is. Lovely. You need to write a thank you note to your aunt. What's the structure that you're going to use? So take a second, stop the video, and just jot down real quickly what structure you would use to write. All right, we're back. So according to Hallmark, the moves you should have in writing a thank you note should be a greeting, an expression of thanks, thank you so much for the blue sweater, adding specific details, It is very warm and fuzzy, and I'm looking forward to wearing it to the library. Look ahead. I'm hoping to wear this. I think it's really going to help me. It'll look stylish. Restate your thanks. Thank you again for thinking of me, and end with your regards. Yours always, me. So that's sort of a structure that we can use for a thank you note. We have a broad structure and there's fine structure. So broadly what we expect, and then more detailed. And these would be the required moves. If you had a thank you card and you only had the greeting and the regards, it was nice that you sent it, but it's a little lacking. Writing conventions. Writing conventions are rules of writing that are followed within a particular genre, but often vary across genres. So that might be formatting, different types of abbreviations and acronyms, the tense we used. Voice, for instance, if you are writing in a science journal, you will usually use passive voice. The NMR was used. Versus in education writing, you're usually going to use an active voice. I took the NMR measurement. We measured. And that's just a difference of convention. There isn't a right, there isn't a wrong, but we use passive voice in one instance, we use active voice in the other. And you want to learn what the conventions of the type of writing you're trying to do are. Grammar and mechanics. These are rules of writing that are followed by many formal written genres. So, grammar isn't going to change much whether you're writing for a chemistry journal or if you are writing for a history journal. Like, grammar is kind of grammar. This includes stuff like spelling, punctuation, subject-verb agreement, parallelism, all that type of stuff. So, hey, for instance, fix this sentence. I like to synthesize esters and titrating acids. Okay, take 2 seconds. Fix it. All right. Yeah, we need to, this one's got a parallelism problem. So it needs to either be I like to synthesize esters and titrate acids, or I like synthesizing esters and titrating acids. Your choice. Do you like doing those things? They can be pretty cool. And then we have science content. Good science writing effectively conveys good science. It doesn't matter how good you write if the science you're conveying is not good. So all the graphs, charts, reaction schemes, all those things that we do as chemists are just as important as the words. Honestly, most people, when they first open an article, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to look at those graphs and charts. And a lot of times what they see there is what's going to get them to even continue reading the article or not. So they convey so much of the story and they pull in the reader. All right, homework for next week. You're going to write a little posting on what is your approach to writing papers in general and science papers specifically, what you think is your greatest strength as a writer, what weakness do you want to work on in your writing, and then respond to a peer's posting. You want to build on their ideas or relate them to your own. Don't just say, I agree. All right, looking forward to reading your posts.